Yo guys, what's going on? I'm Tim. This is the Real Sports Talk. You can hit me up on Twitter at CashKelly_TRST. We're going to have the Oakland A's 30 clubs in 30 days preview coming at you in about an hour or two at some point here. I'll get to uploading that, but I wanted to talk about Ryan Braun, who was originally suspended in the offseason for 50 games for a test that showed enhanced levels of synthetic testosterone in his body, which essentially means he had more testosterone than his body could naturally produce. Now, this is the first time that a player has ever gone against the drug suspension, has gone against the MLB, and has ever actually won their case. We've seen other guys who have had really some nice cases, guys like J.C. Romero, go against them and say, you told me this, you told me I was allowed to use this, whatever, and they didn't win their case. We've seen guys that obviously did do it and didn't even try to. Ryan Braun, since day one, said that he was innocent and that he did not do that. Let me read off a few things, and the way that it's being presented, if you don't read into this too much, you think, oh wow, I mean MLB just kind of screwed this up. But let me read you Ryan Braun's case, the defending NL MVP. Should have been Matt Kemp, by the way. He says, I am very pleased and relieved by today's decision. It is the first step in restoring my good name and reputation. We were able to get through this because I am innocent and the truth was on our side. We provided complete cooperation throughout despite the highly unusual circumstances. I have been an open book, willing to share details from every aspect of my life as part of this investigation because I have nothing to hide. And that probably goes a little deeper than any of us need to hear. When he's saying, when you're talking about getting a drug test, I think we all know how you give a drug test. And when he's saying, I've been an open book, I think we know where that's going. I don't even need to say it. And finally, he says, I have passed over 25 drug tests in my career, including at least 3 in the past year. And I mean, that makes a good case, certainly. That isn't to say, though, that, I mean, you could pass 3 drug tests and then decide in September, look, this is the last year Prince Fielder's here, this is the last year, maybe in a few years until we get another big bat in here, that we're really going to have a shot, and I'm feeling really tired right now. I got to get an extra boost for the season, and that's kind of what amphetamines have been used for in baseball. And I mean, he wasn't using steroids, don't take it as that, but he was using something essentially to up his testosterone if this positive test was real. Now, this is a statement from the MLB. Today, the arbitration panel announced its decision by a 2-1 vote to sustain Ryan Braun's grievance challenging his 50-game suspension. Oh, that was a statement from the Players Association, my bad. And Rob Manfred, the president of the vice president of the Players Association. Let me just read through this real quick. Yeah, this is also what he said. It has always been Major League Baseball's position that no matter who tests positive, we will exhaust all avenues in pursuit of all of the appropriate discipline. We have been true to that position in every instance because baseball fans deserve nothing less. As a part of our drug testing program, the Commissioner's Office and the Players Association agreed to a neutral third-party review for instances that are under dispute. While we have always respected that process, Major League Baseball vehemently disagrees with the decision rendered today by today's arbitrator, Siam Das. I don't know if I'm saying that right, and really it's irrelevant. Essentially what they're saying is that MLB thinks that the test came back and that test was right, and that the arbitrators really got this wrong, and apparently the MLB is going to pursue more action. And Mark Fairwell, I'm essentially reading bits and pieces out of this ESPN article. It's not plagiarizing, but it's going off what we've been given. And let me read this part. A second source has confirmed to ESPN investigative reporter Mark Fairwell, who was one of the guys that wrote that Game of Shadows book, mostly ratting out Barry Bonds, that Braun did not dispute the science, but rather questioned he questioned how they went about taking the test and doing the test. So essentially, he's not saying, oh, I didn't test positive. He's saying, you did something wrong that made me test positive. So he's not necessarily denying the fact that something was wrong with this test, but he's saying that you didn't go about doing the test the right way. And I'll continue to read here. According to one of the sources, the collector, after getting Braun's sample, was supposed to take this sample to FedEx/Kinko's for shipping, but thought it was closed because it was late on a Saturday night. As he occurred in some other instances, the collector took the sample home and kept it refrigerated. Policy states that the sample is supposed to get to FedEx as soon as possible. So, I mean, essentially this has got to be a think what you really believe. And if you're asking me my honest opinion about this, I think that Ryan Braun found something that they did wrong here and was able to essentially use that to his own, for his case. And really, he didn't prove that he didn't do anything wrong. He proved that the MLB went about doing this incorrectly, which is kind of a shitty way to prove something. But essentially, he's gotten off. And most average fans will think, oh, he was innocent throughout this entire thing. If you really want to read up on this, to me, it still leans towards the fact that he did something wrong in this case. He used a little something to try and push the envelope. I mean, Ryan Braun's a monster regardless. This isn't Sammy Sosa, this guy with the Cubs who's not any good, and then he takes steroids and becomes a superstar, hits 60 home runs 4 years in a row. It's not that type of a deal. But he did do something wrong, in my opinion. I really believe that Ryan Braun took something, and I really do not think if this was just another random player that he would have been able to get away with this. I think because it's Ryan Braun, he's able to get away with this. And essentially, I guess the MLB does this for the reasons of looking good. They make these public and they decide to suspend these players. In all honesty, after the entire steroids thing, I think that the best thing that they could have done is try to sweep this under the rug and pretend like it didn't happen. I don't know. I'll catch you guys later.